Welcome to the Tech Mechanic. Today's breakdown is part of our Azure Architecture Master Series. If you want the full roadmap, then hit the playlist from the start. With that said, let's dive into today's topic. Imagine your company has thousands of employees working across different countries. Everyone logs into Microsoft Teams. Everyone uses Outlook. Everyone accesses Azure. Everyone opens SharePoint. But where are all these identities stored? Where does Microsoft know who belongs to your company? The answer is something called a Microsoft Entra ID Tenant. Today, we are going to understand one of the most misunderstood Azure concepts. Think of your company's head office. Every employee belongs to this company. Every department operates under this headquarters. Visitors can enter only with permission. A Microsoft Entra tenant works exactly the same way. It is the digital headquarters of your organization. A Microsoft Entra ID tenant is your organization's dedicated identity service. It stores users, groups, applications, devices, security policies, identity information. Everything related to identity starts here. Think of it as your organization's digital identity database. Let's place the tenant into the Azure hierarchy. At the very top sits the Microsoft Entra tenant. Inside the tenant, organizations create management groups. Management groups contain subscriptions. Subscriptions contain resource groups. Resource groups contain Azure Resources. This is the complete enterprise Azure hierarchy. Many beginners think tenant and subscription are the same. They're not. A tenant manages identities. A subscription manages Azure Resources and billing. One organization usually has one tenant but may have multiple Azure subscriptions. Imagine our shopping company. The company creates one Microsoft Entra tenant. Inside it are 3 Azure subscriptions. Development, testing, production. All employees belong to the same tenant but work in different subscriptions depending on their responsibilities. Large banks usually maintain a single Microsoft Entra tenant for identity management. Different departments have separate Azure subscriptions, but every employee authenticates through the same tenant. This centralizes identity while allowing decentralized cloud operations. When you sign in to Azure portal, Microsoft first checks your identity against your organization's tenant. If your identity is valid, RBC determines what you are allowed to access. Authentication always happens before authorization. Sometimes organizations collaborate. Instead of creating new accounts, Company A can invite users from Company B into its tenant as guest users. This is called business-to-business, B2B, collaboration. It's widely used in consulting projects and enterprise partnerships. B2C stands for business-to-consumer. Instead of employees, the users are customers. Customers can sign in using Google, Facebook, Microsoft, or local accounts. This is commonly used in e-commerce and public-facing applications. Some applications are designed to serve many organizations. Microsoft Teams, PowerBoy, and many SaaS products support multiple tenants. Each organization keeps its identities separate while using the same application. Solution architects don't think only about infrastructure. They think about identity, collaboration, security, governance, and scalability. The tenant is the foundation for all of these. A tenant does not store Azure resources. Resources live inside subscriptions and resource groups. The tenant stores identities. Understanding this difference is essential for designing Azure environments correctly. You've now completed another major building block of Azure architecture. You understand how identities are organized before resources are created. This is exactly how enterprise Azure environments are designed. Remember this simple rule. A Microsoft Entra tenant manages identities. A subscription manages cloud resources. Identity comes first. Resources come later. Whether your goal is to become a solution architect, cloud architect, AI architect, or simply a better software engineer, the TechMechanic is your learning destination. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay ahead in your tech journey.